to emptiness. Okay, now, as you noticed, of course, equalizing and exchanging self for others or self with others. Of course, you're not actually exchanging, literally, you're just exchanging your focus. Your focus in terms of whose emptiness is most important. So instead of directing it just towards ourselves, we're directing it towards all sentient beings or towards all other sentient beings, depending on your preference. But emptiness is a huge part of that. Okay, so emptiness does come in. And what is the process? Well, basically, emptiness is about negating what's extra. And therefore, we engage in analysis. We engage in what is called ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis is not analyzing if phenomena exist, but it's about analyzing how phenomena exist. Yeah? We don't analyze whether phenomena exist or if they exist. Oh, okay. So we don't analyze here when we say, talking about emptiness. Emptiness is really just something being empty of something particular. So not being something particular. Not beingness. You could even say like not beingness in the sense that not being something particular. So we're not saying that the eye doesn't exist, that a table doesn't exist, but we're saying that it doesn't exist as being such and such. That's what it means. Having said that, therefore, we're analyzing how phenomena really exist without analyzing whether they exist. Of course they exist. We're not analyzing something non-existent. We're not analyzing flying cows or whatever. We're analyzing that which already exists. We can all agree, but how does it exist? Now the self, of course, being such an important focus of our self-centeredness, let's start with that. Okay, for the time being. Again, what is the self? What is the self? What do you think is the self? What do you think? If the self exists, how does it exist? I mean, we know already that it's in relation to mind and body. So at least we've narrowed it down. It's not like the self could be anything, anywhere. No. Thinking of your own personal self, of course. So what is my own I? Well, it is connected to this mind and this body. We can all agree on that. Okay. But then, how does it connect to it? Is it the same or is it different? First of all, let me ask you, is it different? Whatever exists is either one with, so for instance, whatever is existent in the case of body and mind, either whatever exists is one with mind and body or it's different from it. So is the I different from mind and body or is it identical to mind and body? What would you choose?
Different.
Pardon?
Different.
Different. So of the two, what makes more sense?
Identical.
Identical? Okay, so you go with identical. And
Are we talking about the perceived world or the actual real, like the way we perceive it maybe as being different, but it's actually not?
not the perceived. I'm saying in actuality.
Oh,
In actuality. I mean, we're looking for the self that does exist. We're like, you see, if the self does exist, how does it exist? That's the question. But we can, of course, also use the self the way it appears to us. In fact, actually, well, whichever way I put it, to us they're the same. Right now, the only sense of an I we have is the I that doesn't exist. We don't know about the self that does exist. It doesn't appear to our mind, actually. It doesn't appear to our mind. Or does it? No, actually, well, Yes, well, it does. It does, but we're not. But if I were to identify it, for you, that is the same. When you start thinking about it, it's the same as the one that doesn't exist. We can't distinguish the two, in other words. But the goal is to identify the one that does exist, right? We're looking for the self now. Now, where is it? One with the aggregates, one with mind and body, or different? Okay.
This table example.
Pardon?
Table example, we are holding a table, whether I'm holding a table or a bowl. So, so the thing is, table is considered, is meant to place items on it, right? The definition of table is to place the items on it. As far as it fits that definition, it's a table. Let's say you're holding a table. If you can fit an item on the table, then it's a table. You disassemble it, it's not table anymore. It's you're holding a wood. As far as let's say you're touching here, you're touching the
Hand?
hand, or you're touching Balaji. As far as like when I'm touching, I can react, some kind of reaction, like I can sense it. Then that is the self.
Okay, all right. So Balaji just said if you have a table, for instance, as long as you can place something on it, it's a table. So whether you hold it, if the table, you hold something and you can place something on top, then it becomes, you have a table, right? And then if you can't do that, you no longer have a table. Balaji, I have a quick question. Is that a table? You can place something on top. So you said you hold on to it, so I'm holding on to something. Okay, it's not made of wood, but we can agree not every table has to be wooden. So I'm holding on to this, and you can place something on top. Am I just holding up a table? Sorry for that, I didn't. Okay, but besides that, okay, I just wanted to address that one statement you made. But then you're going back to, okay, now talking about Balaji, if you touch his arm, then Balaji has the possibility to react. So we can say, Balaji, I touch Balaji. But what about Balaji is in deep sleep? Am I still touching Balaji? And he's in deep sleep. He's not going to notice that I touched his arm. So is there no Balaji then? Is Balaji gone? Is Balaji not asleep? Because he's in deep sleep. And if I just gently touch this part of your arm, then you won't wake up. So, can't react, it's in deep sleep. Does that mean there's no Balaji? There is. So his arm is Balaji?
No.
Because you said that's identical. Balaji is identical with his mind and body. So then the body should be Balaji, right? What do you mean with identical anyway? So Balaji is one with his mind and body.
For me, identical means it's parts, like the summation of parts.
Oh, it's all of it. So, okay, so it's neither the mind nor the body, it's both mind and body.
Yeah.
It's all of the parts.
Not the whole, but depending on parts in some or the other way, not the whole.
Oh, it's not the whole.
Yeah, but
It's not,
some.
but it's still one with mind and body.
Yeah.
Okay, it's identical with mind and body. What do you mean with identical? It's not the whole, but the whole is mind and body. Both is the whole.
But like again going back to the table analogy, if I take one leg of the table, it's still a table. You know, maybe I take two legs of the table, it's still a table. That
Wait,
way,
when you're holding the table and it's disassembled while you're holding it?
yes.
Oh,
that's it.
you have no longer a table, but you still have the leg of a table?
No, not this table.
Oh, not this table. Oh, the table that is assembled. I'm holding on to the table that is
Yes,
assembled.
yeah.
Okay, yep, okay.
Yeah, so maybe let's say we remove one leg of it and it's still somehow able to balance. So it's still called a table. So even though the whole of the table is not there, but the table is still there.
Okay. Let me ask you, let's not start with Balaji. Balaji is complicated. I mean, because he has a mind and, you know, it becomes... Let's take this flower. What is the flower? It has parts. Do we agree it has parts? It has parts, right? And it exists somewhere in the vicinity of its parts. Do you agree? Yeah. Okay, so let's say this is actually not a real flower, but let's say it is a real flower. So what is the flower? Is it one with its parts, or is it different from its parts? One with its parts or different? One, okay. One with its parts. It's one with its parts. So it's actually not correct to say the petal of the flower, because petal of, it indicates a difference. Otherwise I wouldn't have to use the genitive. I don't say Simran of Simran. Doesn't make sense. Simran is one with Simran. You are one with yourself. Therefore I don't talk of Simran of Simran. That's ludicrous to talk about that. Or even if I used a different word, right? You of Simran. Doesn't make sense. I mean, you being Simran, of course there are other Simrans, but I'm talking about a particular Simran. So the Simran in this room of you. It doesn't make any sense. I can talk about the nose of Simran, or the head of you. That works, or your head. Which implies that you are not your head, you're not one, you're different. To be one means to be totally identical. And whatever is true for X, if the X and Y are one, whatever is true for X has to be true for Y.
Like mutually inclusive.
Mutually inclusive. Well, not just that, but totally identical. No difference whatsoever. Right? No difference whatsoever. And that would be, then you would be your head. You be a head. If you and your head were identical, you would be a head, and the head would be you. And the rest of your body, it would no longer be you. And your mind wouldn't be, no, that would definitely be too much. That they're connected, no doubt, but not one. One is really difficult for so many reasons. Like to say the flower is one with its parts, it can mean two different things. The flower is every single part, then you have many different flowers. Since you have many different parts, you would have many different flowers. And then you have a bouquet, right? If I have more than one flower, if I had equal amount of flowers, I would have a bouquet. I'd have lots of flowers. So that doesn't make sense. Likewise, to say you are each and every part of yourself, you are your hand, you are your head, you have many Simrans. Yeah? You can charter a bus. You have to charter a bus to fit in all the Simrans, right? That doesn't make sense. That's one way in which we can look at Simran being one with her parts. The other option would be Simran is all her parts, or the flower is all of its parts. But then I could no longer say I'm holding the flower, because I'm not holding all the parts. I'm not holding all the parts, am I? Like even doing this, there's still some part that I'm not holding. So, because it's not real, I can do all this. Okay, therefore, this flower, I'm holding the flower. That's okay. According to conventions, the Buddha would agree, I'm holding the flower, but that doesn't mean I have to hold all the parts of the flower. Right? Okay. Thus, to say it's all the parts doesn't work. If I were to bend this part, or the lower, and I won't do this now, or again, I touch this part, I don't touch all the parts. I see this side, that doesn't mean I see all the parts. I see the flower, but I don't see all the parts. So to say it's identical, it's very difficult. Let's go back to the self. This is important with the self. Am I my body? Am I my mind? It's important not to identify with that. Even psychologically, it's important. In the sense that I'm not my body. And people, especially when you're a teenager, when you suddenly become aware of yourself versus others, that sense of identity becomes stronger, we start to identify sometimes with our body, and so distorted body images and so forth come into play possibly, which are potentially very dangerous if you stop eating and you develop anorexia or bulimia or whatever, so potentially quite dangerous because we identify with our body. But the body is not our self. Even it may seem like that at times. How about the mind as the self? Again, that's not, because which mind is the self? So many. We talked about the self-centered one, the loving one. Are these all the self? No, they're not the same. So basically to be one doesn't make sense, does it? So what is it? Different. Does anyone? So who's still for one? Body, the self is or the flower is one with its parts. Who would still think that's true? No one, right? Yes. Okay. Still. Okay. Yeah.
It still feels like that. It still feels like
Still feels like that. Okay. Okay. In what way?
that my sense of self is very much identified with my body and my mind. So
Yes, they're very strongly related. But is your mind? Are you your body? Are you your body? So I cannot say your body. Your body is wrong. To say your body is wrong then, isn't it? Because it's so just an owner. Control your body is wrong, right? Because that's like saying body control body. And are you your body or are you your mind? Those two are contradictory. So can you be both a body and a mind? Because you see, your argument is you and your body and your mind, they're so connected. But then you can only be both. So then there would be something that is both body and mind, and that is you. Right? So is there something that is both physical and non-physical? You said, okay, there's two ways of looking at it. Are you your body? Or is your body you? Are you your body or is your body you? Which one is it? Are you your body? What does that sound? Oh, okay. No, it stopped. Sorry. I think if I go too close to it, maybe. No. I think it's okay. Sorry, Shubham. So, are you your body?
partly, it feels like
No, not partly. Just yes or no. Are you your body? Either you are or you're not, right? I think I know what you mean. I guess I understand what you mean. But really think, are you your body, yes or no?
But it's our identity, right? Like our body is our identity. Like if we were to, let's say, as you said, cut off our arm.
Okay, that's all right. But that's not my question, right? I mean, I'm insisting on a certain answer, like in a debate. Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's not what I ask. So I have, as a debate, as the person who challenges, I have the authority to say, don't say anything but answer, yes or no, right? So now in the situation I'm debating, you're the defender, now you're answering, and I ask you, yes or no, are you your body? Yes or no?
yes,
Are you your mind?
yes,
Are you both your body and your mind?
yes.
Are body and mind not contradictory? Is there a common locus? Is there something that is both physical and non-physical?
Yes.
So physical and non-physical are not contradictory?
No.
Matter and non-matter. Being a cup and...
Contradictory. They're different.
No. But can there be something that is both a cup and not a cup?
I think
No. Wait. Is there something that is a cup and not a cup? Is there something that can be a cup and not a cup? No. Is there something that is physical and not physical?
yes.
There's something that is physical and not physical.
Yes.
So those two are not direct opposites.
They're not opposites.
So then there's something that is cup and not cup.
No.
Because there's something that is physical and non-physical.
Yeah.
So then, why? They're the same.
Self is physical and not physical.
The sense of self is physical. So the sense of self is a body and not a body.
Yeah.
The self is body and not a body.
Yeah.
The self is mind and not mind.
Yeah.
It's both.
It's,
Okay.
It's mind and body.
Okay, the self is mind and body. And body and mind are the self. Body and mind are the self, and the self are mind and body. So they're basically identical. It seems. So whatever the body does, therefore, the mind also does. Because they're identical. Because if the body does it, the eye does it. If the eye does it, the mind does it. So when the body does it, the mind does it. Because they're both the eye, and the eye is both. That was a little too fast, sorry. So I'm saying if you are both body and body and mind are both you, then basically those three are all identical.
No.
Well, okay, if not, then if your body does something, you do it. But if you do it, your mind does it. Because you are your mind. You see what I'm saying? If your body is sick, you are sick. I'm saying, you say yes. So if you are sick, your mind is sick. Because you are your mind. Do you see the logic? You're saying that you are your body and your mind and body is you. Then I argue, when your mind is thinking, you are thinking. If you are thinking, your body is thinking, because you are your body. So, your body is thinking? Yeah? Kind of, she goes, yeah? And you didn't do that one, you said, yeah. Or, if...
That sounds weird.
But you have to say that.
But I do feel like sometimes my body is thinking and it doesn't.
Okay, all right.
Like you could feel it in your body too when you're thinking. Like maybe a thought makes it heavier and a thought makes
Yeah,
it
but that's different, feeling it in your body versus the body thinking. Okay, but there, it goes further. For instance, your body hits someone, right? Your body hits someone unintentionally. You know, you just turn around and you hit someone, you just wanted to. So you hit someone. So your mind also hits someone. Your body kicks a football. Therefore you kick a football. Therefore your mind kicks a football. The mind is the motivating force, but the mind is kicking a football? Tyler, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say, I don't know if this would be helpful in this thought experiment, but you could imagine in modern day science a body fully removed from the mind and you have artificial lungs and heart, right? There's no eyes and the mind is there. You could imagine something still going on. So.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. So let's say your body's you and you're your mind. So if you removed your heart, you wouldn't be there anymore. Because previously you were your body were you, and now a part is gone. So basically you are gone.
I mean all parts. Like imagine you have artificial heart, artificial lungs, and it's just keeping this brain going. Potentially there's still consciousness there, but you wouldn't have any sensory perceptions. So I think there's a...
Ale, so this part of the brain that is responsible for sensory perception, let's say that is damaged, and okay, oh God, that tried to
I don't
make.
know if that complicates it or helps make the argument.
I think it's enough to just say one part is gone, so you are gone basically, because she's identified mind and body to such.
Body and mind change.
Yes.
And that's part of this self as it the self changes with it. So if I lose one of my arms, it doesn't mean that my
Your body becomes incomplete, but that means you're incomplete?
no, this is now my body without this arm, and my hair is falling out.
Okay.
Doesn't mean
All right, so okay, your body has changed, therefore your mind. Okay, your I has changed. That is true. So there's no problem with that. But the thing is, well, moving away from this argument I had earlier on, so this part I agree with, but you're still saying they're identical, but it's no longer your body, right? Because using the genitive wouldn't make sense. Because you, the owner, and that which is owned are different. Must be different, right? You can't owe something cannot own itself. So it's no longer your body and it's not your mind. It's no longer your body and it's no longer your mind. Do you agree? Yeah. Okay, it's not your body, it's not your mind. Okay. And so can you be both sick and well? You have to say that. If your right hand is sick and the left hand is well, you can be both sick and not sick, right? You can be both. I mean, then you can be both. You can be a foot and a non-foot. You can, yeah, you're a foot and you're a non-foot. You're your body, and if you're your body, you're also your foot. But if you're a foot, you're also your arm, and your arm is a non-foot. So you're a non-foot and a foot at the same time. If you're your body, you're every part of your body, aren't you? If you're your mind, you are every single mind. Every single moment of mind and every of your 6 minds. Therefore, if you're your body, you're every body part. If you're every body part, you're a stomach, but you're also a foot. And since a foot is not a stomach, you're both a stomach and a non-stomach. Whoa. And then I don't think that is possible. Then you can say something can be a cup and a non-cup. Right? See what I'm saying? It's turning into, and the Buddha said, I'm not contradicting conventions, and you are. I don't think it's wrong to say my body, my mind. It is my body, my mind. So you can answer that way. Of course, especially in a debate, there's no limit to what you can say. But the question is, does it become more absurd? So can we find a way to be less absurd in the sense that it still follows worldly conventions, my body, my mind, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm closely connected, yes, of course, but that doesn't mean we're the same. So being connected, by definition, means you're not the same, right? You're not connected to something that you're one with, but you're connected to something that is different, but still connected. Therefore, I think it's probably, and I don't want to discourage you, we can go into more absurdities, and actually the way we debate usually is to go into absurdities, rather than saying, no, you're wrong, but rather saying, oh, it leads to that absurdity and that absurdity. It's a beautiful technique where you go at some point, oh, no, that's become too absurd. No, it can't be that, and you can let it go. Now, maybe for the time being, because we're not in the debate session right now where we can go on endlessly, maybe let's move away from that a little bit, because I think we can all agree it's getting a little too absurd. So how about different? How about the self is different? Because just being different doesn't mean disconnected, right? Different is simply not identical, but different doesn't mean totally disconnected. Do you agree? Okay, so maybe let's work with that. Let's work with it. Let's look at it. How does the self exist? Is it different from mind and body? Yes, yes. I think we can agree. But how come that the I, so is the I located somewhere? Where's the I located? It's not the same as mind and body, but it definitely exists somewhere. So since we can even say the mind is located somewhere, which is definitely non-physical, couldn't we say that the I is located somewhere? So where is it exactly located?
How are we saying the mind is located somewhere?
The I is the mind? Okay, let me ask you, where is your mind right now? What did I say this morning?
Yeah, the
Remember this argument, like Ashwin here did the same kind of question about where's the mind, and we came to the conclusion, based on what the mind perceives, at least the sense consciousnesses, they perceive it from the perspective of where the body is, right? The distance where we hear sound, depending on where the body is located, then the volume of the sound is determined by that. For tactile objects, there actually needs to be a touching of the body, and only then, right? Unless someone touches your skin or touches a part of your body or something touches your body, you can't have a perception of that. Therefore, it needs to be in close proximity, if not actually touch. Like when you smell something, the molecules of what you're smelling need to enter your nose, for instance, where in the case of food, it needs to be in your mouth. Therefore, you can only perceive it if it is that close. That means the mind must be in the body, doesn't it? Yeah, or at least close enough to the body. It's very ludicrous to say the sense consciousnesses are in this, but the mental consciousness is somewhere else. Right? Why? No, it's located here.
So by that logic, you're saying, okay, I'm touching the table.
Pardon?
If I'm touching the corner, I can say I'm touching the table by that logic.
In what way does that become the logic? By touching the corner? If your mind is located in your body, then therefore, when I touch the part of the table, I touch the table. How do the two connect?
Because, let's say if I'm saying my mind is located in my body,
Yes.
I cannot, it can be anywhere, right?
Can be anywhere.
The body is like a periphery.
Oh, you're saying the mind could be anywhere, so therefore when I touch the body, I touch the mind? No. No.
No.
No. No. No. Sorry, I'm doing this on purpose, by the way. I'm doing this, I really want to confuse you. I want you to think, I want you to break, we just a sec. Balagan. I'm creating a balagan. No, I want you to, initially I just want to undo our solid sense of I. We never question what is the I. We just assume it's there and we follow its every whim, right? But we never. So that statement I made some time ago, we're slaves to this I. It's a bit like there's a master in our life, almost like George Orwell's, 1984. Like there's someone, big brother, someone telling us the whole time, do this, do that. And we never question whether that thing exists, right? Let's say we have this slave owner we can never see, we never hear, we believe it's there, and somehow we keep having a sense it's telling us this, that, and the other, right? Or is telling us this, that, and the other. And we believe there's this actual thing there, and we run after it all the time. We never question whether it's there. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm asking you to question, where is that self, the way it appears to you. I'm interested in the actual I, but based on what you think the I is, of course. Okay? That's what I'm doing. So please don't get me wrong. I want your mind to think, to go beyond, to think out of a box. Because usually we're in a box, in a tiny little box, right? Accepting the I exists the way it appears and never question it. So think outside of the box. It's hard. It's confusing. The more I ask, the worse it gets. Because the self cannot be put into a box, but we're still within that box, right? So I need you to think outside of it. Yeah. All right, going back, it's different. It's different. The self is different. And of course, Shabari, is that right? Shabari has said correctly, but they're interlinked. So she doesn't want to let go of that connection. But to go too far to saying they're identical, that's another extreme. So I actually didn't want you to move. I'm just saying they're different. Okay. So the flower and its parts are different. The flower is not its parts, and its parts are not the flower. Which, by that I'm not implying the flower is over there and its parts are here. That's not what I'm saying. But now we have the difficulty. Why is it correct to say I hold the flower when really I'm just holding a part of it? Because the part isn't the flower. I'm going back to that old problem. Now we have to make that work. And also another big question would be, if it's different, could I remove the parts and still be left with the flower? Could I remove the parts and still be left with the flower? If I could now take, and I won't do this anyway, it would be a little, and anyway, I don't want to destroy it. So if I, let's say, visualize, I've given teachings before in Israel, and I asked them to prepare like a toy truck that I could take apart. And I learned to disassemble and assemble it again, you know, like I knew like how to put it together again, so it was simple enough anyway, so even someone like me could know. So I did that, I took it apart. It was actually, sometimes it's more helpful, you take it apart. Where's the truck in the truck? So where's the flower in the flower? Because there seems to be this flower that owns its parts, right? The parts off. Oh, its parts are so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I'm holding it. So if I were to remove the parts, is there still a flower? So in Shabari's mind, she's going back to identical. I'm just wondering, is she kind of going back to, oh no? So, yeah, I don't know you are, but in my mind I thought
Well,
that's
like,
what.
I think another way to ask it, right,
Yeah.
is like, at what point when you're removing the parts of the flower does it cease to be a flower? And that's always, because like the car analogy, right, when you have that, it's like, no, I removed this part, well, now it loses its carness.
Okay. All right.
Isn't that also a good way to think about it?
Yeah. Okay, nice. If you think of the car, we had it with the table. For instance, if I remove one leg, is it still a table? If I remove two legs, is it still a table? What do I need to remove, right? For it to no longer be a table. Who's right and who's wrong? If you disagree on that, who's right and who's wrong? What about the flower? When does it cease to be a flower? When does Shabari cease to be Shabari? I'm sorry, no. Like, when does Kelsang Wangmo cease to be Kelsang Wangmo if she starts losing her limbs? Because we have already agreed, I just change. But how long, how much does it take? How much do I need? Okay, so here it's a little easier, I guess. Even if I'm, sorry, that sounds pretty gross, but like I'm basically reduced to just the most important organs or something. As long as I still have a mind, I guess you would still agree I'm still there. But then with an animate object, such as a flower, exactly as Tyler said, as Tyler said, so when does it cease to be a flower? Any suggestion?
It's hard to say, just like the seed when it converts into a sprout, like you said, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I agree.
When a seed converts to a sprout, when is that exact moment? You cannot say that, okay, in this moment it was a seed and in this moment it was a sprout.
Yeah, usually I give this example. Okay, I'll give you this example again. I take photographs of every moment when the seed becomes a sprout. So I end up with 5,000 pictures, 50,000 pictures. Yeah, I have this camera that in each second it takes a photo. So now I put them up on the washing line and I number each picture. And now you have to tell me when it is a sprout and when it is a seed. Right? Is that difficult? Why is it difficult? Why is it difficult? Why is that difficult? Okay, again, keep that image in your mind. I'll have picture, put them up all the way to McLeodganj, right? Okay, that seems like a big job, but never mind. And so now you're walking past each picture. I give you a letter pad and a pen, and you have to write down which picture depicts the last moment of the sprout, of the seed, and which picture depicts the first moment, which photo depicts the first moment of the sprout, last moment of the seed, sorry. Which photograph depicts the last moment of the seed, and which photograph depicts the first moment of the sprout. Will you all answer in the same way? No. Will there be a correct and an incorrect answer? No. Why not? Why will there not be a correct or incorrect answer?
Because it's a period rather than specific.
Pardon?
It's a period rather than specific thing.
Oh, it's a period?
Yeah, like there are sets of photos would be considered as hearts and set of photos would be considered as seed.
Yes. Okay, so, okay, all right. So Shubham is saying there are many photos.
Yeah.
But what about the very last moment? The very last moment. I'm not saying the last moments. I'm saying the very last moment. What about the very last moment? Can you pick out the very last moment? Not even that? Why not?
Because it just doesn't feel like, it just seems too similar.
They seem too similar. Okay, so it's difficult. All right, so we agree it's difficult. But is there a way to say this person is right and this person is wrong? Is there a right or wrong answer? Is there a correct or an incorrect answer? My question. So let's say all these thousands of people. Pardon?
It's like hot and cold.
It's like hot and cold.
And you cannot say this is hot and this is cold.
You can't say that?
Because it depends on the person.
Is there hot and cold?
Yes.
Do hot and cold exist?
Yeah.
Are they the same?
No.
Well, for one person it's hot and for one person it's cold. So does it mean something can be both hot and cold?
For two people.
No. Can something be hot and cold both? No?
For a mind.
Can there be something that is...
Mind,
No. That's not my question. Like, yes, for your mind, but that's not what I asked, right? Okay, so sorry, that's like, again, the debate format. I have the power as the debater. This is just how the debate works. To just say yes or no. I know what you mean, but I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, is there something that is both hot and cold? Mm-hmm. Is there something that is both long and short? Is this long or short? Or neither? Neither?
Now it's neither.
It's not long? It's not short? No. I said yes or no. No, it's not long. It's not short. No. This room is not hot and not cold. It's hot? It's hot? Why?
Because I'm feeling hot.
You are feeling hot? Sorry. Oops. No, there's no reason for me laughing. Okay. All right. Okay. So, honestly, you see how the absurdity, right? This is both long and short, so we all agree. So this guy comes in who's lived his whole life in a room that's been 50 degrees, right? You get used to it. And he comes in his room and he'll be freezing. So when this person, is this room hot or cold? Because he would say just as you said, because I'm cold. Right? So is it hot or cold? Is it hot or cold? Or both? Neither. So there's nothing that is hot. There's nothing that is cold. There's no hot, there's no cold. There's no long, there's no short. There's no beautiful, there's no ugly. There's no good, there's no bad. Nothing exists. Whoa! Welcome to nihilism. Welcome to the extreme of nihilism. We just managed to go from reification to the opposite end, right? And again, I'm just doing this on purpose, and it's not to torture you, but again, to think outside of the box. It's so clear in our mind, we never question it, but when we dig a little deeper, things start disappearing. How's that possible? When you look a little closer, things start disappearing. You know, it's like It's a little bit like when you have the pixels of a picture. No, I give you another example. I don't know, have you ever been to 1-2 Cafe in McLeodganj? And then above or next to it, when you stand in front of it, to the left of it is a very steep road. And when you walk down that road, there is a picture of His Holiness in the form of like a mosaic. It's in front of a hotel. And they're just different pieces, different colored pieces. And when you look from afar, you see His Holiness. But if you get closer and closer and closer, and you look at every stone, His Holiness disappears. Or you take the pixels in a computer. You go closer and closer and closer, and what happens? It disappears. Right? Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense? It does make sense, okay. I still get that one confused with you. Yeah, but yours is really less. I'm wondering, no, you're not saying that yours, but I misinterpret it. So the point is, therefore, here in a similar way, we start looking for the I, and what's happening? It's disappearing, right? It's disappearing. Okay, but we still say it exists. So what's happening here? What's happening here? When we look for it, it's gone, but we say it's there. It's a mirage. It's a mirage. Okay, what does a mirage mean? It exists one way and it appears differently. That's a good way to put it. So it's like a mirage, right? It's like an optical. Yes. So usually it's like they say it's like an illusion, like a mirage is a visual object. The eye is not a visual object, right? It consists of mind and body, and the body is a visual object. But to say is a mirage is a little, it's an echo. It's like an echo. It seems to be another person's voice, but it's not, kind of idea. So usually it's said that it's like a mirage, that the eye, for instance, to our mind, it's like a mirage. Because to our mind, it exists one way, but it appears in a different way. Now, if the eye existed the way it appears to us, we shouldn't have that problem. We shouldn't have that problem. It should be much clearer. You see, to our mind, it seems so clear that there's an eye, right? It seems to be so clear, so solid, so concrete. If it really existed in such a solid and concrete way, we shouldn't have this trouble. So I just want to convey that to you without taking it further. We need to let that sink in. Okay, really think about it. Since beginningless time, I have been controlled by a mind. I have been controlled. My minds have been controlled by a particular mind that suggests, that not just suggests, that makes me believe there is a concrete I, but that isn't there. Isn't that huge? Think about it. This is huge. This is huge. I have been controlled by something that has never been there. I've been controlled by a mind that perceives something that has never been there. I've been fooled. I've been fooled since beginningless time. I suffered unnecessarily. It's like someone is leading you like a bull in the ring, this way and that way. And actually, they were never there. I let myself being, right? Yes, Gal.
When you say I, you still suggest that there is I.
Aha. I say I, that seems to suggest, but I'm glad you're using the word seem. Leaving some space. All right, so am I suggesting there's an I? I keep using the word. Ronnie, what do you think? Nice. All right. Very good. That confusion is great. Yes, Ashwin?
So are we saying that the false sense of I is actually misleading and
Exactly. Absolutely. Ashwin, say it loudly again. Are we saying that this misleading sense of an I is causing all our trouble? Yes. Yes. No one else to blame. Not the government, not the corrupt officials, not my neighbor, not my family or my mother. No.
So the false I is causing the trouble for the real I.
The false I, pardon?
Is the false I causing the trouble for the real I?
Is the false I causing the trouble for the real I? Yes. I would agree. The false I, the false I doesn't exist. It doesn't cause trouble. But the mind that perceives the false I, yeah, so if, Tyler, you shook your hand, if that was your reason for disagreeing. So the false I doesn't exist. It doesn't cause trouble. Flying cows don't make any trouble. They just simply don't exist. But the false sense of an I, that creates the trouble for the existing I. Yes, absolutely. But what is that existing I? We still didn't get it any further. I don't want to explain it yet. I want you to further, I'm still torturing a little bit longer.
This is like schizophrenia.
Pardon?
This is like schizophrenia. You have to think about it.
Schizophrenia? Schizophrenia. Like if it's confusing.
Like you were so convinced that
Yeah.
some people exist
And suddenly it's like I'm pulling the rug underneath your feet. Yeah, yeah. And I hope I don't scare you. But that fear, if there is fear, if you really meditate on this initially, there's fear. That's a good fear. That's a good fear. Fear is not always negative. Fear can be good. Fear can save our life, by the way. I mean, that anyway. So fear is not necessarily bad. The fear of the fear is the problem. The fear of the fear is the problem, not the fear itself. Fear can be good. And when you embrace your fear, you just accept it for what it is and watch it, then it actually disappears. Usually. Unless you go back to the fear and fear it. No, never mind, I'm saying too much. But the point is, there is fear that is good, and that could happen because you're pulling the rug underneath our feet. But please remember, the I does exist. There is an existing I. I say it right now, but how does it exist? And when I explain you how it exists, you won't be satisfied initially. Why not? Because you're so used to thinking of the I as more than that. As more than that. But if that more than that existed, there wouldn't be an I in the first place. Nothing would be possible. Right? Yes, Achana?
I keep wondering, is it breath that we have, like, I exist through breath?
Is the I the breath?
Yeah.
What makes you think the I is the breath?
Like, because we stop breathing, this whole self, nothing remains, like nothing is there.
But you go out of existence when you stop breathing? In that moment, Achana's gone. She's back. Right? If you are your breathing and you can hold your breath, then you disappear. So Achana, when she dives into the ocean, she's hopefully not breathing, right? So she dives into the ocean. She's like a deep sea diver. So she can go without oxygen for 10 minutes. So is Achana not diving into the ocean because there's no breathing, therefore there's no Achana? Can't be that, right? So just because we stop breathing, depending on how long you stop breathing, or Achana or like let's say Kelsang Wangmo, who's on life support, not breathing herself, is she gone? No, can't be her breathing, right? You see, like just absurdities. I'm like, if that were true, then Achana will stop breathing. Then Kelsang Wangmo on life support, then so it can't be the breathing. Yes.
So maybe it's like that you cannot perceive yourself in the same way, right? When you say that I cannot perceive my eyes, right? So maybe it's the same way with the exist I. It cannot perceive itself,
But it cannot perceive itself. It cannot perceive itself. Can the mind perceive it though? Okay, the self can't perceive itself, but can your mind perceive yourself?
no,
The mind cannot perceive the self?
I don't know what it is, but it is perceiving the mind and the body.
So where is it? How does it exist in relation to mind and body? It's different from mind and body. So how come I say I see you, that is correct, when I see something that is not you? Shabari's going back to the identical, because it seems like that. It seems like the only way I can say I see Gal when I see a part of her, only if Gal is her part. Otherwise, I cannot account for me saying, when I see a part of Gal, I see Gal. Pardon?
Can you repeat?
Oh, sorry. It sounded like I was saying seagull. No, what I just said was, okay, if the self exists in the way in which my mind can't perceive it, okay. But the question still remains, when I look at you, a part of you, I only ever see a part of you, I say I see Gal. And we've agreed that's correct, right? When you raise your hand and wave, I say Gal waves her hand, and that's still correct. We're not contradicting conventions. So how does do you, even though I may not perceive it, but how do you exist? How do you exist in such a way that moving your hand means you move? How do you exist? How do you exist that if your mind does something, you do it? If my mind do it, no one says, Simgara. I'm getting confused. Simran. So, sorry for that. So, if I do something, if my hand moves, no one is saying Simran moves her hand. Even if Simran sits next to me. Okay, let's say Simran sits next to me, and I'm moving my hand. We sit close enough. And no one would say Simran is moving her hand. Why not? Why, when my hand moves, why do I say Kelsang Wangmo moves her hand? Why? Why is that? What is the relation between the hand of Kelsang Wangmo and Kelsang Wangmo?
A convention.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Just like you're saying this is a table, this is Kelsang Wangmo, just like a convention.
What is a convention?
An agreement.
Pardon?
An agreement between everybody.
An agreement. So, okay, an agreement. A convention is an agreement. So, if someone doesn't agree on Kelsang Wangmo, like let's say, some of you don't agree. You wouldn't agree that I'm Kelsang Wangmo. Does that suddenly mean my hand is not moving? Kelsang Wangmo's hand is not moving? Does everyone have to agree? Who is to agree? Is it a matter of agreement? So if everyone agrees the world is flat, is there a flat world? Because it becomes a convention, doesn't it? 300 years ago, the world was considered to be flat. So it was a convention. Was the world therefore flat?
But you talked about ultimate analysis. If you found, when you ultimately analyzed it, you found the world is round. So
if I ultimately analyze, do I really find a round world? Do I find a world in the first place? It means like, how does so I'm looking closer and what I'm doing is basically the reason you get so confused because I'm doing ultimate analysis. And it's kind of what I'm doing is like I'm getting very close towards each little mosaic or each pixel, and I'm asking you, where's the world now? That's really what I'm doing. I'm going very, very close, and what happens? It's disappearing. So now you went back, you said, okay, that's fine. So without analyzing, you've just agreed, when Simran sits next to me and I move my hand, we have agreed that this is Kelsang Wangmo, therefore we say Kelsang Wangmo. So just because it's a convention, we've agreed. So what about we all agree the earth is flat? Without analyzing, where's the world, what is the world, is it part of its parts or not, blah, blah. Even without going into that ultimate analysis. We're not engaging in ultimate analysis. We're just looking at conventions. So does that mean there is a flat world? If we all agree?
it doesn't mean that the world is flat. It means that we behave in a way
But we've only, you said convention.
So the convention here is that if you say you're Kelsang Wangmo, we all agree. We don't say no, you are not.
And if I say the world is flat, would you all agree?
No, so so the world, coming to that part.
Okay. I was to say the church is going to say, like, you know, in the past, they say the world is flat. Right? It says in the Bible.
That doesn't mean that the earth as planet is flat.
So therefore, if I say I'm Kelsang Wangmo, does that necessarily mean I'm Kelsang Wangmo? I could be lying. I could be lying. I could be saying I'm Tenzin Peltron. So if I say I'm Tenzin Peltron, does that make me a Tenzin Peltron?
No.
I said it.
But if I didn't know.
And you said it and you agreed. You just said, if I say I'm Kelsang Wangmo, then you take on that convention.
But of course the convention is more complicated than just that. There are exceptions, right? Somebody might be lying, somebody might be schizophrenic, somebody might be deluded.
Okay.
But in general, and that's how conventions work, they're not
Okay.
they're not solid. They're not
Solid. Very
they're
good.
not permanent also, right?
They're not permanent. They're not solid, but
But
shouldn't be schizophrenic or it shouldn't be lying in order to determine whether this is accepted or not.
and
Is that-
conventions also should be or are open for questioning, which is why the convention that the understanding that the world was flat was questioned,
Mhm.
and then it was shown to be wrong. Similarly, if you say you are somebody else
Mhm.
and that's questioned,
Mhm. Mhm.
it can be shown to be wrong. So conventions aren't
Okay. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. So, okay, great. I accept that. She's saying, all right, so being Kelsang Wangmo or not, it's not about just someone claiming to be Kelsang Wangmo. We have to be sure that she's not lying in this case. Okay, I accept that. Or that I'm not maybe crazy or I've lost my memory or something, right? Like crazy in the sense of like, I don't know what I'm saying without intending to, yeah, okay. I can accept that. Let's go back to the pictures that I put up all the way up to McLeod, the sprout and the seed. Right? The sprout and the seed. Okay. Now there is a convention. All right, there's a convention. No one is lying. No one is lying. All right? So which is there a right picture and a wrong picture there? In the case of Kelsang Wangmo, we created a convention. I didn't lie. I didn't, do. Okay. So determined by that, we can say she is Kelsang Wangmo or not. How about these photographs? Let's say there's a convention. We have conventions. What is a seed and a sprout? We do. So is there a particular picture that determines, or that is a particular picture that is the last moment of this seed, and therefore, whichever answer we give, it's either right or wrong. Now, what about conventions? Someone telling you, and it's not a lie. So everything you asked for, everything, no, you didn't ask for, but everything that you just define, your kind of definition that you just gave, and I've accepted it. Now, how about these many different pictures? Sprout or seed or sprout? Is there a correct or incorrect answer?
I didn't understand the link to the convention.
Well, being a seed and a sprout, is that not a convention?
What is a seed and what is a
Yeah.
sprout?
Is that a convention?
Yes.
Again, if I'm a if whether I'm Kelsang Wangmo or not is a convention, whether the earth exists or the earth itself is a convention, wouldn't a seed and a sprout be a convention as well? Yes? So having said that, it is a convention, and based on the convention, I know whether someone is Kelsang Wangmo or not. Wouldn't I also know whether something is a seed or not? Therefore, is there a correct answer to these different pictures, right? One being a seed and one being a sprout. Is there a correct answer or not?
There could be multiple correct answers.
Pardon?
There could be multiple correct answers.
One last pic, like the last moment of this, the very last moment. So the last picture, when this can still be called a seed, and when the next picture is the first moment of a sprout. Is that possible or not? To find that picture, as per convention. Why not?
Because at that time the seed has stopped being the seed and the sprout is not become a sprout as per convention.
Oh, there's something in between?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that called?
In between.
So when is the last moment of the seed and the first moment of the in-between? Fine, knock yourself out. You want an in-between? No problem, but I go with the in-between. So, okay, between the seed and the sprout, there is an in-between. What is the last moment of the seed and the first moment of the in-between? What is the last moment of the in-between and the first moment of the sprout?
Yeah, we can find it.
Is there another in-between of an in-between? And you don't get away with that one because the same logic still applies.
Yeah, I think we can find the last moment of seed and first moment of sprout.
You can find the last moment of the seed and the last moment of a sprout. And would one of you be...
You can split it again.
Yeah, like nanoseconds.
You can split it to 100,000.
Oh my God, Nitsan, what is he saying just now? He's saying, but each moment you identify, it can be again subdivided. It can be again subdivided because there's no shortest moment in time, is there? Each moment, at least conceptually, can be subdivided. Whoa. So there's no beginning of the seed and the sprout? If there's no beginning of the seed, you can't have a seed. You end up without a seed now. No first moment of sprout, no sprout. Is there a present moment of sprout? No, each moment you can subdivide. Oh my God, there's no present, there's no sprout. We end up again falling nihilism, back to nihilism. Wow. I have to be careful that it still has to be fun. Is it still fun? Is it still fun? Yeah, confusion can be fun, and I'll stop soon, but not tonight. So anyway, all right. So having done all this, the discussion would be exchange your understanding of emptiness, your understanding of meditation, right? Is anything of what you learned helpful? If that fits in, and if then there's still some time left, go ahead. Seed, sprout, eye. Right? One of you takes over my job. Go ahead.
I don't think we'll be able to do your job.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you can do it a little bit to some degree. Yeah. I guess it's easier. My position is easier at this point. Challenging it. All right. Anyway, great. So, page 31. Oh, yes. Thank you. All right. So let's take a moment, let it go, all that confusion, and come back to the fact that we accumulated both accumulations. We created both accumulation, merit and wisdom, especially wisdom towards the end. So let's not let that go to waste, but instead dedicate it towards eventually understanding how phenomena really exist. So we're able to eliminate the root, the fundamental misconception, and all the other afflictions and everything else that is not in the nature of our mind, and in that way actualize our fullest potential for the benefit of all sentient beings. So let's dedicate everything we accumulated today towards that. And with this in mind, let's recite the prayer. May the precious bodhicitta arise if not yet born. When generated, may it never diminish, but increase more and more. All right, thank you, and enjoy lunch, dinner, and the discussion group. And the